Perfect. Hello, it's your boy Mr. CV. I'm back with another very special video. Woo! I'm also back again to do another Wala Wednesday, and trust me, with the Wala Wednesday that I've been doing the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of positive feedbacks, and obviously it's given me the encouragement and the motivation to continue. But also, last week I did do a Wala Wednesday video, but unfortunately there was no sound in the video, so I spent like about 30 minutes, 40 minutes recording the video. By the time I look back at it, there's no sound, and you know what, sometimes these things happen, and it's just part of technology. But also, it means I can always redo the video and make it even better, which is a bit annoying at times, but it's also a way to improve myself as well. Let me not waste your time, let me get straight into this Wala Wednesday. So if you haven't watched the other Wala Wednesday, or you want to know what Wala Wednesday is about, go check out my other videos on Wala Wednesday, and feel free to also not just check out Wala Wednesday, but check out my other videos as well. So I'm going to go straight into it like I said, so hold on. So let me start with this one, because this one is quite interesting. So I'm going to start with this one. So it says, a guy in the church is part of the choir, but his wife is always accusing him of looking at another woman who is also part of the choir that has a big uku. So uku means yash as well, big yash. So if you don't know what yash is, go and check it out. But it's quite trending at this moment, so check it out. She also has a big yash. This wife also has a big yash too. When he gets home, this becomes a big argument. The guy doesn't know what to do. He's feeling of leaving the choir. So this is a big problem, because obviously, according to the scenario, the guy's in the choir. There's a woman in the choir too that is not his wife, that has a big uku, or that has a big yash. His wife also has a big yash too, or she's physically endowed, let's put it like that. Don't like to use the word yash. She's physically endowed. Now the problem is, the woman, his wife, is always accusing the guy, thinking he's always looking at the other woman who is also physically endowed. But for me, the way I see it, this is just about trust and communication. But also as well, there could be a bit of jealousy into it as well, because obviously the wife might seem a bit jealous. Some people might say, oh, she's just maybe being protective. But for me personally, if you're in the choir or you're in a church setting, obviously you should be focusing on taking the hymns or what the choir is singing and the songs in the religious songs in. But obviously it seems like the wife's attention is being moved away, and she's more focusing on what her husband doing. This is based on trust, because for me personally, if you're with your husband, which you're married like that, personally I think you should have trust in your husband that, listen, he's not going to do the wrong things. He's definitely he's focused on you, because at the end of the day he chose you as his wife, so you should have trust in him. But also I know that sometimes when people, like let's say for example, when a guy or a girl, maybe they've done something wrong in the past, and obviously they now, maybe due to that reason, maybe she's skeptical and she's not trusting him. That could also be the reason, but I'm not sure. But like I said, I think this is just a matter of trust, and I think you should trust your husband that he's doing the right things and he's not focusing on the woman. But also as well, there's a need for having communication, because clearly this is affecting his guy, because for him to make a decision that he wants to actually leave the choir or leave the church in total just because to avoid arguments, I think definitely, because you don't want to be carrying this going home, especially after a religious activity or going to the church or whatever setting you're in. You want to be able to receive the message, go home, and obviously make it like a day of it, because church, mosque and other religious setting is not just about just worshipping God. It's also a social community as well, and it's a way of meeting with friends, families, or if you go to the same place, the same church. So the last thing you want is for you to come home, have another headache, and I think the woman should stop giving herself a headache as well, or giving herself a high blood pressure, and just trust the husband and know that he's going to do the right things. So that's my take on it. Let me go to number 2. So it says, My guy studied law where they said the starting salary is 40k, £40,000. He finished and he can't get a job. He's working as a security guard where he gets £8.50. He is unsure of what to do. He even wants to quit looking for a law job and do something else. He's a bit regretting studying law. So this was actually someone that actually said this to me actually, and I wrote it down because I think it's quite important. And there's a reason why I think this is quite important is because a lot of people study courses which at the end of the day when they finish they are told that they're going to get high paid work, or they're going to get paid quite a lot of money from the course or after you finish the course, which could be true on one part and might not be true as well, because the university, their job is to bring it into the university. It's like selling a market basically. They're there to sell a market to you, to present to you why you should come to their university. When you come to the university, part of also their job after that is to give you the tools needed for you to be able to apply to these high paid jobs. Their job is not to get you these jobs. That's not their job. Their job is to give you the tools, is to give you the knowledge, is to give you the work experience, the skills that you need to apply to get this high paid job. So if you're thinking the university has failed, the university hasn't failed in their part. You've also failed in some aspect, in the sense that you need to push it to be able to get these high paid jobs, to be able to utilize the skills you've learnt. Because once the university gets you into the university, that's some of their job done. If they fail to give you the tools and skills needed for the job that you're looking for within the course, then that's where you can say the university has failed. But if they've given you the skills and experience, and also you've got a certificate to prove by getting your marks, maybe 2-1 first, whatever marks you've got or whatever grade you've got, the university can come and say, look, we've done our part. It's now up to you. That's also why it's important that sometimes a lot of you don't just go and study courses where at the end of the day they say, oh, you're going to get a lot of money, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Because when it becomes difficult, especially in this scenario where the guy obviously he's thinking of quitting because he's been looking for a job maybe for about 6 months now and he's not been able to get one, and the law and some other jobs, there's a high demand for it where there's a lot of people that are studying there, so there's a lot of competition. So if you're not really passionate about this course or about this job, when it becomes difficult you probably end up giving up. And I think people also need to get rid of the mentality that school is there for you to help you get jobs that are high paid or get things. That's not what school is there for. Schools are there to give you tools to enable you to get these high paid jobs. So because I know a lot of people, they're complaining, school's this, school's that. No. It's you. As much as schools can do their part, you also need to do your part. But like I said, this is where the passion of the job needs to come in. Because if you're passionate about this job and it's really something you want to do, when it becomes difficult, you'll be able to push it, you'll be able to keep going. It took me 2 years plus to become a teacher. I went all around the UK. If you haven't watched my teaching journey, go and check it out. I went all around the UK because I'm passionate. I like teaching people. Teaching is my passion. Is one of my passions actually. But even though when it was difficult, I didn't just quit. I ended up traveling, going to different places, making sure I still push it. But one of the issues here is obviously because he can't get a job in law, he's taking up a security job. Personally, I think it's a good thing that instead of sitting at home complaining, he's actually gone out there and actually look for a job, and he's got a security job as well. And that allows him to keep cash flow. But what you need to be careful of that you don't get stuck into those jobs. The reason why I'm saying that you don't get stuck into those jobs is that some people get stuck into those jobs. Before you know it, they've done 20 years, 30 years of that job and don't go back to utilizing their degree. Or some people go into those jobs, instead of doing it maybe part-time, try and push the law. Some people go in there and then obviously responsibility, bills and all this stuff happens. Before you know it, you've done a number of years. My thing on this part is, number one, first thing,